morning. Sorry, I was on Twitter. I was twatting about on Twitter. Hello, good morning, how are you all today? You get serenaded this morning for some reason. Don't know why, but here we are. Hello. So today's class is continuing on with the yoga dance fusion that we've been working towards. So we're going to start off with some happy hip openers and then we'll get rolling around into today's class. So how are you all? Did you have a wonderful weekend? I know it's not Monday anymore, but my weekend continued to be horrifically bad. Namaste. Because I got my water fixed yesterday. And I uploaded a photo on Insta of me in a bubble bath, like insane, like half a bottle of bubbles. I was like, yes. And I stayed in there till the water went cold. And it was so nice to bathe. I was like, feels so good. 3 days without it. So I have one neighbor on my floor who I'm actually friends with, and they were away for, they went on holiday for 2 weeks. So the people I was going to go and see if I could hock a shower off of were like, yeah, no, we weren't in the country. I was like, yeah, I gathered that. Thanks for that. Cheers. So I had my bubble bath and I was like, right, I'm really tired because, you know, stressful weekends make me tired. So I'll have an early night. So I went to bed early last night and I'd been in bed for half an hour. I was just starting to drift off. I know I was, because had night not come in and woke me up, I would have slept through it. We had a fire alarm go off. Yeah, we had to evacuate the damn building. And I don't know if anyone's in the UK at the moment, but it is piss poor weather outside. So I was in bed, and as everyone knows, I sleep naked. So I was like, damn it, I'm gonna have to get dressed. So I've gone from the lovely cocoon of my bed to whacking on a onesie, grabbing the dog, going all the way downstairs, and we stood outside in the rain for half an hour while they checked the system to see what was going on. Apparently it'd gone off in somebody's apartment. It was a fire suppression system and it just went haywire. So that was fun last night. So I posted that on Twitter. I was like, great. So the dog was all fractious because the alarm's really loud, and obviously it's supposed to go, hey, danger of death, get your ass out of bed. But he was like super freaked out about it, and it took me ages to calm him back down. So I'm still tired, is the upshot. There you go. That's my life right now. Morning, Ozzy. But you know, we digress. Onward and upward. Focus, namaste. We can bring ourselves back from the brink of tiredness to do today's class. And this is the start of the new schedule, so it's the shortened week. So we've got today and tomorrow, and then bye. And I'm back on Saturday with Metro. So we're gonna do one gaming stream on the weekend, and it's gonna be 4 till 8-ish for me. So yeah, that's the plan going forward. You don't need to ask how I am, no. Just tired, man. Just freaking tired. Ugh. The one time I went to bed early and was ready to sleep and actually fell asleep early, and that's what happened. That was great. OG! You stop it, you! Oh my god, thank you so much for the resub. Isn't it? I love you! You just wanted your little badge back, didn't you? I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. But yay, thank you. Appreciate it. I just updated my dick list today, and I'm gonna have to put you back on it as the proper sub. And you'll have to tell me what you want to do on the tree, my man. Because my tree's looking pretty bare. There's a lot of people who've gone, bye. So let me know what you'd like. If you don't, you will end up with something sci-fi or horror, because that's the vibe I'm on right now. Yeah, despite the lack of decent sci-fi and horror new stuff, I'm a fan of the classics. I'm a huge fan of the classics. So yeah, let me know. Holler at me. Cool, so let's get ourselves started with today. Dr. B, namaste. Look at that, look at all those little sexy badges in chat. Adorable. You belong to me, you're my sweetheart. Hi, Candyman. Candyman. Classic sci-fi, of course, classic sci-fi. When I say classic sci-fi, I'm on about from the 50s to the 80s, probably. probably. No, early 90s with the sci-fi. Horror is 50s to 80s. I was having this discussion on Twitter. Feel free to jump in if you follow me on Twitter. Things that scared you as a child. And it always links back to sci-fi and horror. Now, the thing that scared me the most was... There's two things that scared me, but the thing that scared me the most was... do you remember Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk, the girl from The Craft, yeah? 1985 or 6 or something, not long after I was born. It's the wheelies, yeah? Okay, so you go back to Oz, you've got the wheelies. There's these dudes that have like roller skates on their hands. They have really long arms, and the way they move freaks me the crap out. I still, to this day, if I watch Return to Oz when they're on the screen, I gotta like look away because it creeps me out. And then you also have the Wicked Witch of Wherever. I like that, Wicked Witch of Wherever, who takes the heads of young girls so that she can swap out her heads. So there's a room full of heads. Now obviously this is in the 80s, so it's just people in little boxes like this with, you know, a black thing to there. But that still freaks me out as well, that you could take your head off and put a different one on. I don't know, it just creeps me out. And then the other thing that just massively disturbed me was that weird dog thing from Battlestar Galactica, which I found out was like a monkey in a suit, which just, I don't know, people in suits freaks me out. This is why I don't like 50s old classic sci-fi, because I know it's just a dude in a suit, but still, it's, I don't know, it sort of taps into a part of me that makes me go, ugh. So yeah, that was the conversation we were having. And then someone else said E.T. scared them, and I was like, oh, but E.T.'s so cute. But do you know what? If you were young enough, yeah, E.T.'s quite creepy, especially when he goes all like fossilized at the end, you know, when he's taken away from Elliot. So yeah, feel free to weigh in on the things that scare you. Yes, you can. You may. You may make your comment about Picard. Well, see, this... We'll get started again. We all knew she was. We knew she was when Em spoke to her. She turned up and shot someone and was like, oh, is it set to stun? And I was like, no, it wasn't. Do you know what annoyed me about that? The fact that Raffi made a whole song and dance about not running security checks on this Dr. Jarudi, and then the fact that they've been in space for, I don't know, 3 days, and she still hasn't run any security checks on her. Yeah, she's just, you know, rocking around the ship, murdering people, and, you know, no one's gone, maybe we should check this crazy bitch out. But yeah, so as for watching Picard, I am not going to continue to watch it through Amazon's Prime because I don't want them to count my view. So I'm going to wait till it's all finished and then binge it in one. Or maybe I might live stream it and go through third-party people just so that they need to know that we don't like it. I got into it big time yesterday on Night's channel with the YouTube comments. Right, I've been called a purist, I've been called a fangirl, I've been called boomer because I'm like, it's not Star Trek. It's nothing to do with Star Trek. The Star Trek that we know, you've crapped all over it. You've taken it, you've done a big poop on it, and then you've set that poop on fire, and then you've gone, enjoy your show. Yeah, it's not Star Trek. You could have had any other crew in it and I wouldn't have this much of an issue in it, but you've taken something that was sacred to us Star Trek fans and you've gone, well, we've made it modern for today's viewers, and I'm like, fuck today's viewers, okay? There's plenty of crap out there on Netflix that you can watch that make you can feel superior. Oh, I watch sci-fi because, you know, I sat down and watched this one show once. You're not a sci-fi fan. It's not supposed to be dystopia. The fact that you've allowed it to fall into utter decay in the space of 18 years since the attack on Mars is wrong. The fact that you even had the synths working in that capacity as slave labor, even though we've had like 2 episodes so far in Star Trek that have dealt with this very issue, one of them being the Doctor from Voyager, Robert Picardo, when he found out that his former EMHs were now scrubbing the what's-it mines because they'd all been decommissioned because a newer EMH came along, and he was like, well, that's not what they're designed to do. You have now enslaved them to do this. And then, you know, we've dealt with the big political issues we've dealt with, yeah? We continue to deal with the big political issues. What I don't like is the social political issues that are running throughout every single episode to just go, we want to include you. We want to represent you in today's show so that you don't feel like you're left out. Yeah, we get it. Okay, there's lots of diverse people out there today that should be represented in entertainment, but it should also be because it warrants the storyline and it enriches it, not just positive, you know, affirmation. It doesn't matter if you're an addict, we still love you crap, which is where we are right now. Picard is unfortunate. That's a nice way of putting it. That's a real nice way of putting it. Even the character of Picard's not the same Picard. And he's not even the star of his show. But someone was pointing this out to me, and it was like, have you noticed that Raffi is the one calling the shots? That everything that's taken place so far has all been Raffi's design. It's like, I didn't even notice that. Exactly, it's not Star Trek, it's Picard, and the fans call it Star Trek Picard, but its actual title is just Picard. It is what it is. See, my issue with it is it's Star Wars. You've taken this Trek universe and you've made it Star Wars. You've just carrying on like he's the Jedi Council rather than anything else. You know, you have to remember, so far in this thing, and it's too graphic. My biggest complaint with this show is it's too graphic. I'm a horror fan. I love graphic, yeah? There's only a few horror films I've watched that have made me go, oh, the Serbian film being one of them. I will sit there and watch people be mutilated all day long. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm completely desensitized to it. But Star Trek's a family show. Star Trek used to be able to sit down with your grandparents and you could watch it as a family unit. Your 6-year-old to your 92-year-old. You could all sit down as a family and watch it. So far, the deaths on it have been that graphic that you couldn't in good conscience allow your child to watch it. Yeah? We've got people on our channel who are like, I've happened to screen the episode first and then fast forward past the bits where, you know, the beheading or the ripping the eyeball out. It's gratuitous violence, and that isn't what Star Trek's about. We have that. You want a dark dystopian sci-fi, go watch the Battlestar Galactica remake. It's fantastic. There's like 2-3 bad episodes throughout that entire series. So if you need that void filling in your life and you want good written dealing with the political agendas, it dealt with terrorism, it dealt with, you know, xenophobia, how we treat those that are different from it, all of that, it dealt with it, and it dealt with it tastefully. Yeah, not getting that done in Picard, it just feels like a man, if I ever see Kurtzman or Goldsman, I would. And JJ's on my shit list. Not my hit list, my shit list. Thank you for your input. Duly noted. There's other channels on Twitch. Go nuts. Yeah, no, I'm not. Cool. Something Kirk. Awesome. I will find Something Kirk for you. He is the original planet. Yeah, take care. It'll hit you in the ass on the way out. Bye! He was the original off-planet. See, I like Kirk as a captain because his motto was fight it or fuck it, which is a fabulous way to live your life, yeah? Can I have sex with it? No, then I shall fight it. That was great. I like that in a captain, you know, it was awesome. Picard was the diplomat. Then you had Cisco come along and he was like a marriage of the two, which I enjoyed. You hate Kirk, he was stupid. Okay, Cam, you wafer thin ice here. Fatal Service, good morning. Hello. I've already been told off for not doing yoga. It's fabulous. I got a flyby scolding. It gave me this like, this doesn't seem like Star Trek and yoga is just too niche for me. Toodles! no, I like Kirk. You can't say anything wrong about Shatner. Shatner is just fabulous. Fabulous. We love Shatner. I will not hear a bad word spoken about him, even when he sort of tried to tunnel through me at a convention and bounced off my boob. He did. He's really small. Do you know that's the most surprising thing about meeting celebrities? They all seem so big on the screen, but they're all like, you know, my height. It's bizarre. It's really, really weird. Oh, he's just fabulous. Did you see the episode of Big Bang, the last season, when he guested in it when they were all playing D&D? and he's like, so, gentlemen, it seems that we have come across a bunch of trolls in the dungeon, because that's how he talks. And he made some Star Trek reference, and friggin' Kareem's like, dude, put $1 in the Star Trek jar, and he's like, worth it, because you know he'd do nothing but drop Star Trek references all day long. He's fabulous. I follow him on Twitter because he's just nuts. He's like, I'd give him a crack at running the country, honestly. It'd just be Star Trek Day every day. It'd be great. You got Trump and he's a moron. Why not have Shatner in it? Why not have Kirk taking over? It'd be fun. Right, anyway. That's why I like him. It's his old man-ness of it all, and the fact that he's still a bit of a player. You know, he's in his 80s, and he still thinks he stands a chance with the ladies. Just fabulous. Okay, let's get started. Oh. So we're going to be working today on the external rotation of the hips. Now, I'm going to slide back here. Yeah. So working on the external rotation of the hips, learning the difference to begin with by having yourself in staff pose, Tadasana, with your feet out in front of you, flexing the toes back towards you, and finding what it is to have a neutral femurs, so neutral thigh. So this is neutral. Take your hands to your inner thigh and roll it outwards. You're not using the feet, but using the thighs, and feeling what it is for the external rotation of the hips. And this is what we're working in today. We're working on building strength and optimizing fluid mobility through the hips. Roll it back in. And open it out again. So feel that sensation, feel that external rotation in the hip socket, what it is. Get familiar with it, and see how it makes you feel amazing. One more. And then back to center. Let's catch up. Big things here. I haven't. Okay, just discovered it on YouTube. Wicked and retro, just love it. What was the one that I was watching? I didn't see the end of it. It's got what's his face in it? Draco and Tonks. Oh my god. And they all wake up on a spaceship and then one of them's a murderer. Classic sci-fi trope. Yeah. What was the other one that I liked? It got cancelled as well. They all wake up on a spaceship with no memory of who they are, and it turns out they're a bunch of bounty hunters. That was good. That got cancelled. She had green hair. She really made me want to have green hair. It was the little girl from, well, she's not little anymore. The little girl from Silent Hill. She's fabulous. But I only got 2 seasons. And the Black Ops guy from 24. Lower yourself down onto your back. Oh god. Morning, Palpatina. And come into your corpse Shavasana. I'm gonna scooch over so you can see what I'm doing. And then from here we're gonna make little circles with the ankles. No, see, that's my issue. JJ shouldn't be allowed anywhere near stuff. The first Star Trek movie that he took over was great. And then, apart from his usual penchant for lens flares every 2 seconds, which is his trademark, which is fucking annoying. And then it's, step your feet in, take it to the outside edges of your mat, and we're gonna windshield wiper, dropping the knees from one side to the other. That was good. Then they messed me up because they said, we're not going to make a Khan movie, and then they did. And then they annoyed me further by casting fucking Benedingle Humperdinckadonk as Khan. Now, he's a great actor, Benadryl, but he's not Khan. Khan's meant to be like the ultimate super soldier, which to me means gorgeously charismatic as well as ridiculously good looking and, you know, a mean son of a bitch at the same time. Things I don't associate with Benadryl. Take it over to the right and leave it there. I'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Take it over to the left and leave it there. You're starting to get that external rotation and then the internal rotation with it, which is an odd sensation. And a small twist in the lower back, which is nice. Bring it back up to the center. Bring your hands out to a T. And we're gonna work on just stepping in the knees, bringing them up outside of the ribs. Back down with the right foot, up and outside of the ribs with the left foot. Lovely. So, as I said, today's class is getting deep into the hips, working those rotations, generally having a good time. Well, I'm having a good time. I love working the hips. And then the last one, again, I didn't mind it too much. It had Shora in it from 24, that What's It girl that's just fabulous. It has a voice that makes me want to, she could get me to do anything. Rock and roll yourself up. And then we'll bring ourselves down. Catch up with the seated thing. Sorry, hello. JT Kirk and TJ Hooker. Oh, thank you for the follow. Now enjoy your stay. Yeah, so like I said, the first one wasn't so bad. The second one, you ruined it with Khan. You also like brought Spock back from the dead, which has never happened in Star Trek canon. And then the third one again wasn't so bad, but it kind of went 1, 2, 3, and I'm super happy that they're not making any more right now, because it's gone the same way as the new trilogy of Star Wars, where you're like, dear Lord, what are you doing? Just stop, just back away from the movie, just put down the storyboard and walk away. You're not allowed to make stuff anymore. Okay, you're coming for Ricardo now. Dude, what's wrong with you? It's Ricardo. Ricardo is a god. I would have genocided my entire fucking race for a chance to be with Ricardo. I was in a fictional relationship with him throughout my teens. He does look like a genetically engineered person, but I'll give you that. He has this android face. He does have the android face. But Ricardo is just a god. He was fucking amazing. And I like the fact that he was hammy with it. It made it work. It was the sheer arrogance of him that made it work. And Star Trek 2 is like the best movie anyway. So, yeah. I have issues with your taste. Thankfully, we're still friends. So I'm gonna take the feet up, out to the sides again. And we're just gonna do little external rotations. So hold on to the shins. And we're gonna pause halfway in the middle. So rather than bringing it all the way down, I want you to feel what it is to use the hips to make these rotations, rather than just dropping the knees and allowing gravity to bring you back down again. Yeah, assignment's cool. But the second one was just, it wasn't the best. I'm gonna spin around to face you. And bringing it forward. Taking it into Tadasana. We're gonna bring the knee in on the left side and kick it out. Bring that back into center. Bring the right one in, kick it out. So I want you to feel the sensation of what it is in the hips right now. And we're trying to use the joint to make this move rather than the muscles. Open the legs wide. And we're going to roll over onto the left side. So hands back behind you, we're going to roll over onto the left side. Back to center. And then roll over to the right. We'll do one on each side just to make sure that we can do it on both sides. And then we're going to come over to the left and we're going to keep rolling over to the left. Back around. Last one. And then we'll do repeated ones on the right hand side. The whale one was the best one from the old movies, says every non-Star Trek fan ever. Although I do like, hello computer. And then back over. Do you know my favorite one? The first one. Vija. Oh, I so wish that they made that the origin story of the Borg. So wish they'd have made that. So we're going to roll over onto the left-hand side, and we're going to continue to roll over down onto our bellies. Use the leg to bring yourself back up, back over, and then we're going to take it over to the right. Ooh, she says as she lands on her phone. And back to the center. Bring the knees in, bring it over, and take it down into a closed knee child's pose. Resting the forehead down on the mat, arms at your side. And we'll do a couple of rounds of cat-cow, and we'll bring some big movements into it, full body trunk rolls. So if you have knee sensitivity, you can do the variation where you're sat down on your ass with your legs in front of you, feet wider than hip distance, and you can do seated cat-cow and the full body trunk rolls from here. Just protecting the knees. The commonality is with your choices. No. Enlighten me. So from here, drop the belly down, spin it over to the right and bring it up to the center, and then back round again. Time travel. If you take out the temporal stuff, Star Trek is stupid. Space opera like Star Wars. Disagree vehemently, but you're also somebody who finds Seinfeld funny, so I don't. I'm not surprised. Take it back into your tabletop position. And then from here, we're going to take it into some external hip rotation. So we're going to bring the knee up, out to the side and back down again. And then up and then back around to the side and back down again. Out. You come in for Star Trek to a Trekkie. That's the nicest way I could have said that. Seinfeld's not for Jerry Seinfeld's funny. Seinfeld isn't. Sorry to pee on your parade, but it's not. It's stupid and contrived. No, I reckon that was a 5. I've been upgraded. I was upgraded to a 7, probably a 10 now. Oh, Kramer's the one that makes me want to jump him in a dark alley and beat him with a not a stupid stick, because he's already there. An intelligent stick. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, back to my happy space. So yeah, Star Trek I like because it is sci-fi. It's the ideal of a more hopeful future. Star Wars is a space opera, I'll give you that one. And my issue with the new Picard is it is more Star Wars than it is Star Trek. I like the Star Trek movies, I like the series. The one with the whales is cute, it's fine, it's grand, but it's not one of my favourites. Undiscovered Country, that was piss poor. That also reminded me of the last episode of Picard. Right, so in your tabletop position, we're gonna step up off of the knee, we're gonna bring it up, around and down again, out to the side. Yeah, but that's the beauty of being online and being friends online. Friendships, you don't have to all like the same stuff. That's what I love about it. Hey, I used to do this with Tompi every time when he spoke about Star Wars. I was like, Star Wars is just juvenile and stupid, and he got me to change my opinion of it when I sat down and watched them all. I've tried that with Seinfeld, it hasn't changed my opinion. I stand by my opinion now. And that's where it's gone horribly wrong then. Shouldn't be basing shit off of an MMO, but there you go. Coming over onto the left leg, bringing it up and around. We're taking it out first, bringing it in. We're gonna have to agree to disagree. That's the problem. Stepping it back down again. And then we'll reverse it the other way. So we'll bring it in, up and down, out and down, out and down. So it's working mixed tonal rotation. You're also getting a nice workout for the glutes. You're welcome. When you can bounce a quarter off your ass. When you walk down the street in your little tight jeans and everyone's like, damn. You can go, that was Dharma that did that. Back to center, and then we'll do the same on the other side. I don't like MMOs, so you're flogging a dead horse. But that's just personal preference. I've never liked MMOs. Okay. From here, we're going to take it into pigeon pose. So we're going to step the fingertips forward slightly, bring the right knee up behind the right wrist, bring that foot forward to whichever depth works for you, come up on the toes on your left leg, wiggle everything around, throw a look behind you, make sure that the foot is straight behind you, and then you can bring yourself down onto your forearms, making sure the hips stay level. If you're finding yourself rolling over onto the outside of the hip, feel free to place a block here where the thigh meets. I've just realised I'm over on the fucking screen. Where the thigh meets the glute, and we're just going to stay here. And we're just going to hang out for a few breaths. Oh, sweetheart, I don't hate anyone based on their entertainment values. We're all entitled to our own opinion. It's groovy. We don't have to agree. It's not like we're running off and getting married. I mean, if we were dating, that would be a deal breaker, but we're not, so it's cool. The wedding night would be us arguing over which is best, and then I'd have to donk you on the head with a bottle of champagne and run out of there. So, yeah. Thankfully, we're not there. It's groovy. But this is what I like about being able to discuss stuff online, is you can be able to do this and not fall into, well, you're just stupid and I hate you mentality, because we're not in the playground anymore. You can have a discussion and still disagree about stuff, and it's, you know, we're arguing about fictional shit that doesn't exist, so it's cool. That's what nerds do. And we're okay with it. It's fine. How would we raise the children, Can Man? How would that work? Oh no, when I'm getting married, it's going to be me dressed as... the groom is going to be dressed as Jareth, and I'm going to be dressed as Sarah in the ballroom scene. Anything less than that, and it's not happening. And if I don't get serenaded with As the World Falls Down, there's nothing happening that night either. Basically, I need a David Bowie ripoff. Yeah. Hells yeah! Alright, walk your hands back up. Slide yourself down onto your belly. Ooh, see how that feels? Coming into your crocodile position. Make sure I'm here. And then with the right leg, lift it up so that you're pressing the pelvis down into the mat, and then make little circles. This is why I'm hanging off of the thing. So reach the fingertips, reach the toes away, and then make little circles here. We're building strength right now. Reverse, bring it the other way. Take it back down. And then we're going to lift it up again, pointing the toes away from us. And we're going to externally rotate it, so we're going to take it out to the side. Bringing it back in. Out to the side. Bring it back in. What about the Ferengi? I'm very pro Ferengi. DS9, it opened my eyes to the Ferengi. It was fantastic. Your females wear clothes? That's disgusting. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. We're going to bring it in. Take it back into a child's pose. Slide the hands back towards you and hop forward into a very shallow squat. And then here, bringing the heels down towards the floor. Roll up onto your tippy toes. That huge crack was my big toe. It's good times. Taking it back down. So again, rocking back into the heels, sinking them back to the floor, coming up onto the tippy toes. Up one more time. And down. Roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time into a flat back. Bend the knees, bring it into your forward fold, lift those hips as skyward as you can. Up into a flat back. Back into a forward fold. Take as much bend in the knees as you need to. And then deep bend in the knees, roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Up to standing. Going to step forward to the top of the mat. And then we'll come through a little mini vinyasa. So press the palms together, reach out through the shoulders, float them down to the side. Lift and lengthen. And then you can step or hop back into plank. Rock back onto the heels as you lower yourself down onto your belly. Pressing up into a baby cobra. Lower everything back down again. And then pressing yourself up into your tabletop. Step back on the right toes, sinking the weight back into the heel for just a second. We're just going to take a nice little stretch into the hamstring. Step that knee back in. And step back on the left toe, sinking back into the heel. Oh, the Ferengi are just funny. The Ferengi are just funny. The acquisition of wealth. Nothing is more important than family except wealth. It's fabulous. They're so anti-Star Trek. I think that's why I like them. They seem so out of place in the universe. Coming back into a couple of rounds of cat-cow, so sink your belly down. Bringing the heart forward. And then press the ground away. Inhale. And exhale. If you had home delivery for shopping, I'm in. Well, to be fair, I would rather live my life naked. I'd need to move to a warmer country. I hate doing laundry. I would quite happily never wash clothes again. Acquisition of wealth. When you don't have much of it, it seems like something that would be fun to do. Walk the fingertips forward. And take it into your puppy pose. And depending on how open you are today, maybe you will bring the chest down to the floor and maybe the chin. Maybe you're only halfway there. Bring it up and over and lower down, coming back into your crocodile. I mean, I buy everything from Amazon as it is, wherever possible, so I tend not to go outside if I can help it. And we'll do the same on the left leg. So again, press the pelvis down, lift the kneecap and the thigh up off of the mat, and we'll make little circles first, pointing the toes away from you. Reverse. Lower that back down again. And if you've taken any tension into your lower back, you can snake the hips up and just rock them from side to side. Take it back down. And again, pressing the hip down on the left side, picking those toes up, pointing it away. And then we're going to take it out to the side. Back into center. Out to the side again. Back into center. And out to the side again. Back into center and lower. And we'll bring it into a little Superman for now. I'm going to bring the hands down so that they're either side of the shoulders. And you can have them facing in towards the thighs, you can have the palms pointing up towards the ceiling, and you can even have them pressing down if that makes it easier for you, depending on the rotation that you have in your shoulders. And we're going to point, and we're going to lift, and we're coming to a little back bend. And lower everything back down again. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into your downward facing dog from here. So you can come through your table first, take it up into your down dog, and then walk the hands back towards your feet. And roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Whew. Daylight turned up on me. So stepping towards the top of your mat, I've come to the front because that's how I like to do stuff. Making sure your feet are hip distance apart, we're going to do circle, one arm circles. We'll start on the left hand side. We're going to bring the arm up, out to the side, across the front of our body, and back around again. No, we just get nothing but rain. Do the last one. And then do the same on the other side. So we're bringing the circles in to begin with. Oh, hello. That's me twatting the light above me. Hello. Hi. How goes it? Oh, and my chat's gone off. There we go. So, we went inwards, we're gonna go outwards this time. So we're trying to keep the spine straight. We're trying not to move the spine, we're trying to isolate the movement entirely in the shoulder. I'm groovy. I'm making friends left, right, and center today. Everyone loves me and my feelings of Star Trek. It's been great. We'll take it outwards with the right. Oh, my daisy chains. Yeah, love. Everyone loves me today. Out to the side. And then we're gonna try and do, again, something that's gonna make you think. So you can bring the arms up overhead. And we're gonna bring the left arm forward as we take the right arm back. And then bringing it back up and around. Again, still keeping the spine straight. I was so proud when I learned this as a child. Back to center. Bring the arms back up overhead again, and we'll bring the right arm forward. Ah, well, that's a shame. Feel free to pop back tomorrow. We have one more of these this week. Whoa, feels good. And then we're going to take it into a forward fold while we're here for a second. So I'm going to step back, step your feet out wider than hip distance, bring the arms up overhead, and then keeping the arms up overhead, keeping the arms straight in front of you, bring yourself down into a forward fold. Bend at the knees so that you can bring the hands to rest, and we're lifting high in the hips. Bring your hands to your hips, bring yourself back up, or you can again come up onto the fingertips and bring yourself up this way with a slight bend in the knees. Step it out wider. And make sure that your toes are at a 45-degree angle. Coming back into the forward fold. Okay? Bring the arms up overhead and bring the arms forward as we come down into the forward fold. Taking the hands out. Probably not out to the edges where the corner, you know, to the diagonal where your feet are, but into the middle. We're gonna bend on the right leg, straighten that left leg, taking it over to the left, back to center. And then when you come up this one, pick the toes up, roll down onto the toes, bring this one up. So as we're doing it, we're now bringing the toes into the play so that we can externally rotate the thigh. We're taking it from neutral to an external rotation. And then come down on the right hand side, pick the toes up, all the way up. Fabulous. See you tomorrow. It's a date. I'll be here. I like flowers and chocolate. No, I don't. It's a lie. I do like chocolate. You can keep the flowers. Box of donuts. I'll take those. Bring the hands to work yourself back up and take it over to the other side. Picking the toes up and getting a nice stretch there on the inner thigh. back to center and heel toe yourself forward. Bringing it in slightly, toes pointing out properly to the side. We'll come into some small hip circles here, just to make sure that everything is glorious. We haven't taken any tension where we shouldn't, and then reverse it the other way. We're gonna come down into goddess pose. So goddess pose is basically the sumo squat. But instead of dropping the hips backwards like you would in a squat and bringing the spine forward, everything stays on that central alignment. So it's like you got a big stick going through the crown of your head and busting out your ass. I want that spine to stay straight. So from here, we're going to bring the hands onto the hips or the thighs. We're going to bend it down. Knees not going past the toes. And bringing that back up. Bringing it down. And back up. Down again. So keeping everything up right here. And to come into full goddess, make sure your hips are pressed forward and then come up onto your tippy toes. So you can keep the hands on the inner thighs if that helps to stabilize you. You can bring your fingertips into your mudra, sink as deep as you can. I like flowers, but I like flowers growing, not cut off and sat in a vase decaying for my pleasure. Come back up, tippy toes, and then down onto the heels. We're going to bring the left arm up overhead. We're going to bend at the knee, bringing it forward, the arm down, and back up. Back up. Gonna recenter. So from here, we're gonna bend at the knees. We're going to flex the spine. Straighten the legs. We bring it back up. Round out through the back. Flex the spine. Bring it back up. And back up. Okay. We'll do it onto the left-hand side this time. So we'll bring the right arm up overhead, legs straight. As we bring it down, we bend to the thighs, back up overhead, bend. Yeah, I prefer them growing than I do just, in my house. Down and back up. Again, round and stand up straight, round and stand up straight. One more. And then we're gonna do the arms out to the side. We're gonna bring ourselves up onto the left toes as we spin the right arm back. So we're coming up into a twist. So we're gonna come up onto the toes, and back to center. And then we're going to take it over on the right toes, back to center. Over. Ooh, that's my toe again. Last one. Heel toe your feet together. Step to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Rearrange your socks if they're coming off. And then arms up overhead, bringing it into your mountain pose. Swan dive forward. Lift and lengthen. Woo! Hello, hamstring. And then we're going to step back into downward facing dog. So we're making sure that we are firm in our foundation here. So we want the thighs internally rotating so that the femurs are pointing forward, and we want to be firm and stabilized in the hands. So press the palms in, activate the fingertips back towards you, shift those hips skyward, and then from here, bringing yourself up into your three-legged dog. Keeping that toe flexed so that you're keeping the hips parallel to the floor. From here, we're going to take it out to the side. Bringing it back up. Bring it out. Back into your three-legged dog. Ooh, kick your own ass. And then stepping it back down. Come through your vinyasa, just to reset. Power through. Come up into your upward facing dog or your baby cobra. Taking it back and then into your downward facing dog again. Flip that left leg up this time. Flexing the toes to help keep it closed. Sweep it over to the left. Back into the three-legged dog. Left. Back to the dog. Left. And then you can step it down from here. Float that right leg up. Step it through the hands. I'm going to take it back to the middle. Pick up the left toes. Coming on to the right foot. Straightening that right leg. And we'll take it into whatever variation of a standing split that you can do. So if you're here, that's groovy. If you're here, that's groovy. For me, it's about here today. Bend to the knee, bring it down, and taking it into your warrior two. Straighten that front leg, and we're going to bring palms out to the side, flip the front palm, reversing our triangle here. Forward, bend the knee, take it back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down so that your left hand is underneath the shoulder. Come up onto the toes and take it into your twist. Staying here. You're coming up into your twist right now. You can bring that right hand back down on the outside of the foot. We're going to bring that knee into the chest. We're going to come onto the outside of the foot as we kick that forward, bringing it over and into your wild thing. Bring the arm back down, step it in, and you can bring yourself down into your closed knees child's pose. So bringing your hands down at your side. And do your impressions of a pebble. My future art installation. Coming up into your tabletop, tuck the toes, and then bringing it into downward facing dog. I'm good, Adam, how are you? I've been making friends all day with my views on entertainment. It's been great. Fly the left leg up to the ceiling, and then bringing it through, step it through the hands. Okay. Bend on the back toes, lift it up, and taking it into your standing split. Again, whatever variation works for you. I'm gonna get my block involved today. There we go. That's easier. I don't like Picard, that's the only new thing. Step it back into your warrior 2. And then bringing it up. Taking it to warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. And flip the front palm. Taking it back. Holy Shania, I need to sort out that sunlight. Bringing it up here. Back down into your warrior 2. I need to sort out that camera. I have gone super heavenly. There we go. It's alright, I'm back. I disappeared momentarily there then into a haze of sunshine. Okay, back into my warrior 2. I'll do another reverse just to get back into the flow. How's it looking? The bedroom, I mean. Bringing it back into your reverse. And then bring the hands down, cartwheel it down, spin up onto the toes, do a high runner's lunge and take it into the twist. One more pink coat of paint, lovely. Bring that hand back down. And again, we're going to slide that foot through. Coming into this. And we're going to take it into a wild thing. Bring the right hand down. And step it back into your downward facing dog. To your knees. Press back into child's pose. I can't remember what my childhood room was like. Am I in the right camera? Yeah. What was I into? I think mine had music notes on the wall when I had this sort of insane dream to become a musician, and it turns out I lack all musical talent whatsoever. But I think mine had, if I remember rightly, it was blue, midnight blue ceilings, and then on the walls was like a sheet of music with notes across it. They didn't actually play anything. My mum just picked them out of books and was like, I'll just paint them on the wall. But yeah, that was my childhood room. No snow for me. So we're starting to build some power as well as opening out through the hips with the rotations, and standing splits and things is working towards dance moves. What the hell is that? So, gonna be rolling ourselves up from here. Tuck the toes. And you can either walk the hands back to the feet, roll yourself up, and we're going to take a step to the front of the mat. I'm going to bring myself facing you guys, and I'm going to have my feet hip distance apart, and I'm going to step back now on the right toes, and we're going to twizzle on the toes. So keeping the hips here, we're going to rotate it back, and we're just moving the pelvis here. So we're going to keep the femur facing forward, bringing it back around to the front. So we're trying to work with the pelvis doing the rotation here rather than moving the whole leg. step it forward, and maybe some little bounces just to help yourself recenter. Okay? So we're going to come into a little transition here of warrior 3 with the movement. So I'm going to turn to the side so that I can face you so you can see what we're doing. So step back on the toes again, making sure that you have both toes facing forward, hands reaching down towards the floor, bring that foot up, and then open out to the side, step it down into your plie. Forward, step back. Ooh. Should we try that again with less falling over? Yeah, I agree. Here. Open. Step it back down. Oh, thank you for the resub. That was me falling over twice. We'll do one more. I'll read the message in a moment. I'm busy making a tit of myself at them right now. And step it back down. And we'll do the same on the left side. So again, left side, pick the foot up. Oh, doing great, doing great. Yeah, let's see what it says. Okay, finished my yoga early, but thank you for being such an awesome friend, and may we be friends for many more years. Oh, must be interesting to keep you interested in my live content for this long. No, it's because we chat utter bullshit to each other every day on DM. That's why we're still friends. The content is just yoga. Yeah, man, me and Kazar don't agree a lot on what we like with TV shows. He's still a really good friend of mine. And back down. I'm going to turn to face you, bringing it with the heels to touch, up onto the toes, and lower. We chat cod shit every day. Up and lower. One more. And down. Step back to the top of the mat, and we can come through our vinyasa one more time. Stepping it back down, all the way through your vinyasa. And lower it down. Press yourself back up. We'll come through a child's pose for just a moment. Back into tabletop. And then step ourselves forward and sit everything back down. Oh my god, I've got a hair. That is... There you are. It's like hanging out of my mouth like there's a party going on. And we'll take it down into working the floor. So we've done some of the standing stuff. We'll come down to some of the floor stretches, and then we'll build a little bit of power in the legs as well, which is nice. So we'll start off with my usual coupler's pose. So again, let's talk about variations. If you have really, really tight hips, your knees are gonna be like this, okay? And it's gonna be very, very uncomfortable for you to switch the knees off, bypass the knees to be able to get into the hips. So if you're finding yourself like this, take your feet out into a diamond shape. Have more distance between the soles of your feet and your groin area. And then get your blocks and you can place them underneath the knees. The hell was that? So you've got the knees supported and you can start to work on pressing out through the hips. So if you're up here, bringing the elbows up towards the inner thighs, press down, and start to just sort of get a little slight activation here in the hips, keeping yourself sat upright, keeping everything sat tall. So that's the first variation that you can come into, keeping that more of a diamond than a cobbler's pose. If you have started to open out in the hips, and if you've been hanging out with me since we started the yoga on this channel, trust me, your hips are open. So we're gonna bring the feet as close into the center line as we can. I like to hold onto my toes. You can hold onto your ankles, you can hold onto your shins, whatever works for you. Making sure you're sat up nice and tall, so make sure the sit bones are glued in. You might have to wriggle from side to side, get your extra badonkadonk out of the way. And then from here, press the knees down towards the floor. If coming into this stillness is too much for you, you can flap your wings. Do micro bounces. Now the sliding filament in the muscles does enjoy this sort of bouncing sensation, so this is a very acceptable variation to gain a little bit of extra movement. But yeah, I'm going to press it down this way. And again, try not to take tension into the rest of your body to do so. So I'm holding on to the toes here, but I'm loosey-goosey in the shoulders, loosey-goosey in the back. I'm not here, you know, oh, all of the tension up there. Now the top one's gone too dark because, you know, the sun's fucked off. Fabulous. We're gonna stay here. A little bit of movements. Mustang Sally, you know you better slow that Mustang down. Morning. Yeah, it does. It wakes up your digestive system. That's cool. Go get food. Slide some my way. It's cool. I want it. If you want to increase the stretch, if you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this, I need a bit more, then you can bring the left foot into the center, pressing down the top of the foot into the mat. Bring the right foot to rest on top of it in the bridge of your left foot. And then from here, press the knees down. Now, I do like this variation. This is the variation I do more often than not because it does bypass the knees altogether and it gets straight into the hips. And you want to press the knees down when you get there. You'll be pressing it in. And you can stay here, or you can bring the fingertips back behind you as long as you're still sitting up tall. And you may find that you may get a little bit extra depth in the pose. Again, that shaking and that shimmying that you're feeling, that is you on your absolute knife edge limit. As long as you don't feel a twinge or a ping or a twang while you're doing it, you know, the sound of, or the sensation of your joint going, ah, then you'll be fine. And that little twinge is to go, carry on doing that action and you're going to cause yourself pain. So that twinge is like the warning shot that you get from your body to go, stop that. Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing fabulous. We had some, you know, the week has gone really well so far. But we're hanging in there, so it's groovy. I had a bath yesterday. Nothing can stop me now that I am all squeaky clean again. Open out, swap over which foot is on the bottom. So if you started with me, now the right foot goes on the bottom. If you weren't paying attention between your left and right, just swap it over, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's bad advice, that little motto, that no pain, no gain. Because there should never be pain in any form of exercise whilst you're doing it. The pain comes from the next day when you have muscle fatigue. That's when you're like, ah, oh, man, you know, I overdid it yesterday. But whilst currently exercising, any form of exercise, there should be no pain. It should only be after the rest period when the muscle fibers start to tear, break down, and then reknit themselves, which is how you increase muscle mass. It's how you get fitter. It's the rest period where you actually do the work. So it's the next day. If you're exercising and you get any sort of twinge, you've gone too hard and you need to stop. Reevaluate what you're doing and then try again. Pressing that down. So as you can see, the external rotation is happening in the hips. You can open that out. And we're going to take it into an inversion forward fold, seated just for a counter pose. So if this is too much for you and you don't want to have both legs out, you can start off with the left leg, bring the right foot into the crotch, into the shoulder. What am I going on about? I mean, you can put it up there if you want. It won't benefit you in any way, but you can give it a whirl. And then you can start to walk your fingertips down, just as a counter pose. So you do one side, and then you'll do the other side. I'm gonna do both, because I am insane. There's already been plenty of books written on that subject. It's just enough people don't read it. This is stuff I had to unlearn in gymnastics. Gymnastics, they're like, if it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it hard enough. And it's all the stuff I've had to unlearn since doing yoga. We're only going to stay here for a few breaths, just to reset the spine. Walk the hands back up. Oh, grab a hold of the outside of your thighs. Ooh, bring it in together. And because we don't want to go too deep, we want to cross at the ankles. We want to hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to allow the hip to reset itself in the socket. Now, I always like to rock from side to side just because it feels good. Anyone walked in right now, they thought I'd had some sort of shocking news, and I'm like, oh my God. But no, it's just helping my hips to reset. The fact that you're trying to move, you can improve it. Can't even sit at 90 degrees. Okay, so variations for you people who are super stiff. Every time we come into these sort of things, bring it, oh, hello hip. Bring it so that the feet are flat on the floor. You can still start to work on opening out through the hips. Let me just put those away. You can still start to get the hip opener from here. Feet are flat to the floor, however deep you can take it. Takes the pressure off of the knees, takes the pressure out of the hips. Even if you're here and you're bringing yourself into the forward fold, you're still starting to do the work. There's modifications you can do to start to be able to bring yourself into these things. So I'm working at the moment towards being able to do inverted splits, which is why we're warming up everything. But that's because I think I'll get there before I can do the lateral splits. The forward ones are just not going to work for me. It's a really tight front hip flexor. But there are variations to help you get there. The fact that you are pursuing yoga, well, I have no idea if you're pursuing yoga. I recommend you pursue yoga. It's a great way to start being aware of how your joints are responding to you doing exercises to improve flexibility. So building strength, you know, you hit a gym 6 days a week if you wanted to. I don't recommend it. It's very bad for you. As I said, it's a day on, day off. The off days when the muscles do the work. So if you don't give yourself the rest period, you're just fatiguing yourself for sweet FA. Sweet fanny FA, as my mother would say. Yoga is a fantastic form of exercise. It's low impact. So this is why it's recommended for increasing flexibility. So I started yoga because I had a rotator cuff injury on my shoulder, and I had zero. I could lift my arm to about there. I couldn't take it out to the side. I had zero external rotation or internal rotation. I had surgery. It was just completely stuck. I was like, that's my life now. I can't even lift my arm up to shoulder height. And my physio is the one who pointed me into the direction of yoga, and he's like, just be slow, be methodical, and listen to your body. So when you get those twinges, stop. It means you're heading into injury territory. It's like, modify, adapt, come up with different ways. If your instructor's like, yeah, bring the arm up here, and you can only bring it here, it's like, so bring it here, work there. And with time, you'll be able to increase the flexion that you have in the joints. And my shoulders are amazing now. You would not believe how restricted I was to how much movement I have now. My hips, because I have a sacroiliac former injury, yeah, long story, don't ask. That's why I spend a lot of time working the hips in these classes, because it's something that I struggle with. And if I'm going to share my exercise with you, I'm going to make it benefit me the most. Hug yourself in the other way. I don't know what happened there, I didn't even get a chance to look, but there you go. G'day! So, as somebody who has, you know, as long as you're not recovering from injury, an at-home practice is fine. Yeah, you only need to go to a yoga class from the very beginning if you have an injury that you're working around to begin with. So I started off, I went to a few yoga classes, got my alignment all settled, and then I took my practice to at home, because I'm one of those people where if you've got to go out to do something, I won't bother. You know how some people go, I'll get a gym membership because if I'm paying for a gym, I'll go. I won't, I'll just let that direct debit continue to go out of my bank while I'm like, wet and rainy, I'm not going out. So I prefer an at-home practice for a lot of my, even, you know, I teach yoga. I won't go into the studio to practice. I'll do my practice at home. I'll design the classes and then I'll take it into the studio. I don't waste time there, and I'm only there if I'm getting paid. Bring it in. And we've done a nice forward fold there, so we're starting to open out in the hip flexors. So again, we're going to take it up into a reclined version of coming into pigeon pose. So we've already done the seated one, we'll take it to reclined. Again, fantastic for brand new people. You noobs, you yoga noobs, which we're all you noobs at one point, don't worry about it. But bring yourself down onto your back, and again, use, every time I ask you to recline, don't just flop yourself down. Use this as an excuse to work the abdominals so that you can lower down. If you think about it, for how much we transition between seated, standing, and reclined, you can have a full mini workout and start working the abs without having to waste time dedicating a class to it and crying your way through it. So again, spine, neutral, draw the navel in, hands out to the side, and then lower with control. Completely tight through the abdominals right now. You can lower yourself down. There's a little trick that I teach my class. You know, look, you know, you'll build the strength up without even realizing it. So on your back. Well, there's a sentence half the people in my life would love to hear. Get on your back, love. While I walk all over you in my 9-inch heels. No. Metaphorically, I wouldn't do it literally. Bring the knee up into the chest to begin with. And again, you don't want to bring the knee up towards the pec. You want to take it slightly outside of the rib cage, so you can start to get that external rotation happening again. And you can feel free to stay here. If this is super intense, if you have got a lot of tightness going on in that hip right now, a pinching sensation is how you know you've got tightness. It's not a sharp pain or a thud. It's just a pinching. It feels like someone's grabbed a hold of your hip and is squeezing the life out of it. So if you've got really tight hips, you can stay here just working on trying to loosen that out. If you want to step it up a notch, you can bring the ankle, and it's the ankle that we want on this, to rest above the kneecap, so on the top meaty bit of your thigh, and flex the toes. Even if your knee's up here, flex the toes. I want you to protect that knee joint. So if you're here and you're like, yeah, that's an absolute limit for me, I can't do anything else, then own it. That's for you. With time, we're going to start to press this knee away from us. We're not going to move our hips, we're not going to move our upper body, and we're not even going to use our hands to do so. We're going to use just the sheer power of our hip to press it away. You can bring the hands to the side, and again, you can stay here. If that is enough of a stretch for you, hang out. Own it. Allow this to relax. So we're always about bringing the joints into a state of relaxation. That's how you increase flexibility. When you're there and you're not hanging on, you know, white knuckling it, to get out the pose as quickly as possible. So you can stay here, or you can pick the toes up of the left foot, still keeping that knee pressed away from you. Reach through and grab a hold of the back of the thigh. You pull the thigh in towards you as you press that knee away from you, and it's that sweet little juxtaposition that we have there that makes it work. If this isn't doing it for you, reach on and grab a hold of the shin, and again, pulling it in. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to remove your upper back. In fact, I don't want you to move the body at all. The upper body stays exactly where it is. So if to do this, you're up here, take it back to the thigh. And it'll all depend on how long your arms are. It's nothing to do with the flexibility, just this is pure anatomy at this point. So bring it in, press it away. And this should be working the outside of your hip right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, you have a bad shoulder too. Yeah, it's fine. They gave you his ibuprofen. Yeah, they gave me a gel for mine. It's your Friday. Just wanted to say howdy before bed. No worries. No, it's yoga for dancers. So the point of it is if you're a dancer, you're gonna need a lot of external rotation in your hips. So I'm fusing the two together. Well, I was. We're in the stretching part now. You missed it. But the two go hand in hand. And it's actually a lot harder to do yoga if you're a dancer because you want to externally rotate your hip every fucking time. External rotation is not an issue. It's the lateral one that sucks major. I'm not going to say that word because we're not in the gaming stream. That just sucks. So you can step that foot back down, bring the hands out to a T. Remove my necklace from impaling me. And we're going to drop over to the side and we're going to step that top foot down onto the mat. Again, if this is too much for you, hover wherever is comfortable. If you're there, hover there. We're going to keep it here, keeping that rotation down on the floor. Come back up. I find it easier to start on the outside of the foot, roll it up, and then press it back down, and then hey, I'm back where I started. Step the foot down, and then step the feet out to the edges of your mat and knock the knees in just to reset in between. So the point of these external rotations is we're creating space. So we're trying to create and cultivate some more room for the hip to move outwards, but we don't want to leave it in that setting. So think of it as like a gearbox, yeah? You can get up to 4th gear, but you don't want to leave it in 4th gear. You want to take it back down to neutral in between. This is neutralizing what we've done. So we're bringing the hip socket back to a neutral setting before we swap over to the other side. Otherwise, when you get out of this, you're going to be like, oh, and you're going to get that twinge because you haven't reset in the middle. I know, it sucks, but that's the way the human body works. Deal with it. Heel toe it in again, and then bringing that left knee in outside the rib cage, and you're trying to bring the knee up towards the armpit. So having the knee bent here makes it less shallow. If you really want to increase that stretch, you can step the right foot away from you, and you can work the front of the right hip flexor at the same time. It increases how much tension is taken into this left hip socket when you do so, because you've got the counterbalance there. If you've straightened it with me, step it back in and then cross the ankle over the knee, and again flex the toes immediately. That should be your immediate go-to thing. And if you're here, don't worry about it. We're trying to press that knee away from us. keeping the hips level, keeping the upper back where it is. We're not moving around, we're not rolling up in the shoulders, we're keeping everything flat onto the mat. Pick the toes up, reach through, grab, pull it in, press it away, get that activation. On this side, because I'm more open, I can actually reach the shin quite comfortably without rolling up off my shoulders. She had affiliate, didn't she? Shruti had affiliate, she just, she didn't know she was allowed to do it. I mean, she had the numbers. She just didn't know she was allowed to do it because of her visa situation. But I'm glad that she has. I mean, I understand for the visa applications you can't have a job you like, but this isn't massively a job, is it? Because it's not like this pays all the bills. we scrape together what we can of a month, but it's not like you're undermining the visa status because of it. This feels so good today. Open hip. So this is the one where I feel the most benefits. Each time I come into this pose, I'm like, damn, it didn't feel that way last time. It's like the opening of a flower. It's a glorious sensation. Reminds me of another sensation, but unless you're a chick, you wouldn't get it. Okay, step it down, hands out to a T, and then stepping down on that foot again. One day, yeah, one day. Not today, but one day. I hear ya. I do hear ya. Well, that's the dream of every content creator though, isn't it? For the amount of work that goes into maintaining your content, your channel, your social presence, all of that, that is the dream, that one day it'll fund the lifestyle. It keeps a roof over your head if nothing else. Ah, glorious. Well, I mean, they could do us all a favour and just start paying us a living wage, but for how many accounts are on here, I don't think they could afford to do that. Hey, they've made leaps and bounds. They've actually signed people to, you know, to a contract with some sort of remuneration. So it's more than we had before. We're just not up there with the big boys, with the whales. And I'm quite happy being a sea bass where I am. Bring it back up. Oh, again, step the feet out to the edge of your mat. What the hell was that? Okay. It's alright, it's my strap. I just trod on something and freaked out. And you can knock them in again. Neutralize the hips. We're going to take it up into some lunges to work on the lateral hip flexion now. Knees into the chest. Rock and roll yourself up. Oh, damn. Let's try that again. Oh, hang on. There we go. It's more effort than I thought I had. Groovy. Groovy. No, I'm the sea bass. I'm a mutated, ill-tempered sea bass with a laser beam on my head. Ah, he's not here. He'd get that. Remember, it's gonna be over. Yeah, but funnily enough, when you get up to those sort of numbers, it's still the same core group of people who are hanging out with you. It's when you get over 100, when you're at 300-400, and then you've got like 100 people consecutively that you have to remember and you know, interact with. I go in some, you know, some channels and they have about 200 people, but in that 200 people there's probably about 50 that regularly speak up, so they're the 50 that you recognize and that you know. And the rest are just flybys, you know, they come in, they hang out for a few streams and then they're off to somewhere else. So I don't think you ever, until you hit thousands numbers where you just like, I have no idea who any of these people are anymore. That's the point of the community, it builds with you. So as it gets bigger, the people that were there at the beginning, they bring, you know, that they get added to the numbers and then they add to the numbers and then it continues, but you still remember them because they've been there since the dawn of it. All right, so stepping forward on the left leg this time. And we're going to take it into a low lunge. So we'll start off with a 90 degree, 90 degree. Are you trying to cuss? Because auto mod will smack you down. Oh, I love that. I know, I love someone who came in for like one game and they're like, hi, do you remember me? And I'm like, no. And now you're banned. That was instantaneously as well. Fabulous. Okay, so you keep it a 90 degree, 90 degree, or you can come up into your high lunge, wiggle those toes back as far as you can go, and then bringing it back down. No, he didn't say anything else. He just said he wanted to talk about those in particular. So we're like, yeah, see you later. So we're sinking down in the hips right now, working that lateral hip flexor. The reason I've taken this back to such a deep angle is because I'm going to take it into lizard pose shortly. So you don't have to be as insanely, you know, like I am right now. It just works for me. Oh, I just got a twinge in my belly button. Ah, that's my old surgery acting up. Ah, yeah. Ow. 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 Okay, can you please relax? Thank you. Ow. No. Okay, we're done? Yeah, we're done. Awesome. Had a laparoscopy. Sometimes I get twinges in it still. That was a set of twinges. It feels like someone's continually stabbing me through the belly button. So if you're coming into lizard pose with me, bring it hands to the inside of the knee and then hug the knee into the shoulder. So we want to keep that, I'm just stepping that back just slightly so you can see me. We want to keep that knee protected. So we want it over the ankle, hugging into the shoulder, keeping everything down here. Yeah, sorry, my belly button gets twinges in it every now and then. So when they stitch me up, they've caught a nerve, and sometimes when I come into certain positions, I get twinges, and it sort of makes me cramp in the middle. Yeah, well that's because of your condition, isn't it? Your gut plays up on you. That's fine. The biggest lesson you can learn with yoga is learn when to walk away from it, really. So we're staying here, and if this gets too much for you, or if you want to increase and you want to take it into the power house, you can come up on the toes and start to rock back on the heel. And again, that sliding movement there, the sliding filament in the muscles does rather adore this. I know, you just said bollocks because you can't put bollocks because auto mod will smack you down. It looks like you used to have a belly ring. So I'm gonna spin the toes out to a 45-degree angle, and we're gonna hug this knee into us. And you can start to bring yourself up onto the outside of the knife edge of the foot, still hugging the knee to you, into lounge lizard, if it feels good. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep it here. Someone posted, an American posted on the, someone else on my follow list replied, and then I weighed in, and he was like, do Brits really say bollocks? And I was like, wow, bollocks to that question, of course we freaking do. Back to center, we're gonna hinge it up and back, and we'll take it into our half split. So in the half split, we're making sure that the hips stay level. I need to get a hold of my blocks, because I ain't doing that. Okay, here, I'm taking it down. Oh, and let's stay here. Stretching that hamstring back towards the back wall. Yeah, those follow bots are getting stupid. They're hitting everyone at the moment. I don't know why. Are they like trying to break Twitch or something? I don't get it. Rex got one, didn't he? Got like 11,000 followers. Stupid. They're supposed to have fixed it now, but clearly it hasn't. Okay, bring it back up and over. Taking it back into that forward stretch, and then we'll step it back. So it's a dangerous time on Twitch to be a body painter at the moment. Oh, they keep changing the rules as to what's acceptable and what isn't. That's an art form, body painting. I'm not massively arsed about sitting there watching someone do it, but I like the end results. But I haven't stopped by a single body painter stream and hung out for more than about 10 minutes because I'm like... But that's just because I'm generation show me. I'm generation Blue Peter. I want, here's one I made earlier. Yeah, the steps of it. And I'm like, you know, get your crisp tube and some PVA glue, and you put some sticky back plastic on, and then oh look, here's one I made earlier. That's what I want. The process doesn't interest me. It's the end result. The only thing I do like that I can watch and find super relaxing is watching people paint miniatures. That I find, as long as they don't have annoying music playing, if it's literally just them talking whilst the camera's focused in on what they're doing, and it's like a nice soothing thing, and they're just talking to the chat and they're painting away, that shit is mesmerizing. I'm like... There's a couple of them I watch, a couple in the States that are on as I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, oh, just soothe me to sleep, and then I dream of miniatures. That surprisingly I find okay. Some people put like annoying soundtracks in the background because they want to listen to music, and I'm like, no, shh. I came here for peace and tranquility. Do not need to listen to your music. Okay, and then we're going to step forward on the right leg. I don't know why I put these in here. Ah, she says as she falls over. I think because they're so aware of not falling foul of stuff, it's a really slow process, so it's, I don't know. It's me, it's my things. No, but we all have to start somewhere. I mean, the reason that when I do my Halloween stuff, the reason I don't stream me putting on my Halloween makeup is because it's crap. Yeah, I just do it for shits and giggles. And if I was to present it on Twitch, I would have comments with people who are like, well, you're not very good at it. You know, practice makes perfect. That's how you get better at stuff. And yes, if I was to stream me doing it, I'd probably get more tips from people who are actually in there who'd be able to go, you know what, have you thought about doing it this way around? That might help you. So I understand the need to do it, with an audience, because you get that real-time feedback. For me, it's just I don't have the decent stuff to invest in to begin with. I just cobble together what I've got, and usually I get bored halfway through, and then it's like, ooh, food, and then I sit down and watch Netflix, and I'm like, well, that didn't work in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, well, it's not really an art form for me. It's not something I find particularly interesting. So that's why I don't hang out in a lot of them. I see a lot of them share their finished works, and I'm like, wow, that is incredible. But they're like, oh, it only took me 3 hours, and I'm like, yeah, I would literally rather watch paint dry on a wall. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Twitch is a streaming platform where, as long as you have, sorry, I'm up on the blocks because this is really tight here. As long as you enjoy what content you're putting out there, I don't think it gives a damn as to what that content is. Share your passion with the world, whether you're great at it or not. You know, you only get better at it by doing so, by practicing, by being there. You know, honing your craft, sorry. But there's certain styles, genres, and things that I've wandered into, and I've tried a few different ones of them, and I'm like, ugh, just doesn't interest. Like watching cooking streams. I don't like watching cooking shows. It bores me. Okay, so again, I'm going to take it up onto the tippy toes. I know nothing of the creative side of Twitch, so that wouldn't help me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not here to start a witch hunt either. Groovy. La 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 la. There's a few people, well, there's not a few people, there's one person in particular who has a channel that baffles me, that why they have a channel and how they still have a channel. But yeah, each to their own, you know? I'm gonna hate on them for it. They found a niche in the market, they made it work. Okay. So again, you can take it into your twisted lizard if you, oh, damn, that was my wrist. Hugging the knee in and taking it over to the side, your lounge lizard. If you want. We're stretching the outside of the hip right now. Oh. Stay here for a few breaths. Wow, we waffled on for ages there then. It's like 10 minutes left of the stream. How did that happen? Ooh. Bringing it back round. Taking it into the half split. Ugh. I'll get there in a minute. I'm old today, okay? I'm having an old day. No. Okay, so make sure the hips stay level, making sure that you have a flat back, your sacrum, and taking it down here. Oh, there's like one or two streamers I always catch, and the only reason I always catch them is because they don't have a set schedule. So I have to catch them, because if I miss it, I'll never know when they're back. And I make a point to always be available for them. And then everyone else, it's as long as I'm free, I'm there. So with work, with studying, with everything else, it's when I have free time is when I hang out. Anyone that goes on after 9 PM for me is just a no-no. But anyone that goes on after 6, for me is a no-no. I've got to come home from work, eat dinner, feed the dog, walk the dog, get to bed, and then it's like 9 o'clock and I'm like, yeah, see ya. It's afternoons that work for me. It's why I have so many Australian streamers that I love watching, because they're on like first thing in the morning after I finish this and I can just go hang out. Okay, step it back in. Oh, Shania. Hug the knees into the chest. Oh, we've done a lot of work today on the hips. A lot of work. You can bring it into a final stretch if you like. You can bring it into your fire log pose. I'm gonna leave it there because my hips are now like, hello, sailor, which means that they're not happy. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. So come into a comfortable seated position if you're finishing up with me. Let's get out of this bad habit of bringing that foot forward. Left foot in front. And we're still the practicing. Bring the hands to prayer center. And we're gonna work on cultivating whatever we managed to make in today's class. Cultivate that out in the real world with you. So openness. Yeah, open hips. I'm going to try and be open. Well, I'm going to try and be open. I'm always open. I'm going to try and be open in a more positive way. There we go. I always share whatever craps in my head. But, you know, more positive aspects of it. Like, ooh, I have a chocolate Easter bunny. Now that's positive. We can talk about that. Because I spent all weekend bitching about my water and the fact that I had to stand outside in the rain last night because the water suppression system decided to go a hissy fit and set the fire alarm off in the building. And it took them half an hour to reset it and make sure there wasn't a fire. So this is what I mean by more positivity. I started off the week complaining. Let's take it to a happy place for now. So hands to prayer center. We're gonna bow down in gratitude. This is where you honor the art of yoga. You honor yourselves for hanging out and taking part, however briefly. And you honor me because I'm a freaking goddess. No, because I'm your yoga instructor. I mean, feel free to worship at the altar of me, but I'm your instructor. I'm the one that guided you through today's practice. So bow down. Namaste. And we're done. And we can talk stuff now. Yeah. Happy place, happy place, happy place. Well, it's been a stressful weekend for me. Stressful weekend has resulted in a lot of meh. Yes, I've had a lot to say about things. Right, yeah, look at you dropping all them like a ninja. Discord, social medias, and the two things that I'm partner with. Okay, so social medias, great place to get to know me better. I've reduced the stream schedule as of this week. We are doing 4 days a week, 3 yoga, 1 gaming. If that's maintainable, that might drop down again yet, bear with me. Just because I'm tired. Yeah, it's starting to take its toll, so I need some rest. I need to recuperate. We'll address later in the year whether we increase or decrease, whatevs. So social medias is a place where you can get to hang out with me when I'm not online. And let's be honest now, you know, I'm only here for a couple of hours, 3 days a week. You might need bit more of a Dharma fix than that, and you can do so by bringing me into your life by following me on Twitter and Instagram. They're the 2 social medias that I use. I don't have Snapchat because I'm not a 12-year-old. I don't have the stupid face filters. It's just Facebook is for family, so don't friend me there. And what was the other one I wanted? Oh yeah, and I'm trying to build up the following on there. Put the partner application in last year. They came back to me and said, you know, you need to build your brand a bit more. You need to upgrade what's going on the outside the world. So that's what we're working towards at the moment. We're trying to build the social medias up. So if you like me, yeah, drop me a follow on Twitter and stuff, and then tell your friends and be like, this is some cool Dharma crap over here. Check her out, and we'll try and grow the brand that way, like a little flower. We'll water it with likes and retweets and talking smack. Yeah, no flame wars, but we can talk smack. Stream Gifts partner. I am a partner with Stream Gifts, so if you're like, how else can I show what a wonderful person she is? I know, I'll get her a little gifty. You can have a look at that. And the reason I tell you to check out the link is if you take my referral off the end of it and just look into Stream Gifts, it's actually, there's a lot of your favorite streamers are already signed up to it. So if you have a look, it'll bring up a list of who's on there, and you can be like, oh, actually, I didn't know they were on there. They deserve a gift, and then you can buy them a gift and say it's from both of us. No? Oh, it was worth a shot. Never mind. And Just Strong is, I'm affiliate with them, so you can use a 10% discount code for yourself or the strong women in your life. I mean, I don't know how you like to get down on a weekend, yeah? They got some great fitness gear there. You can look good whilst, you know, working on looking good, if that makes sense, yeah? You know what I mean. And I think that's it, really. Yeah, cool, groovy. Oh, and Discord, obviously. Yeah, if you understand what Discord is, that's where I am when I'm not on Twitter or here. I live in those 3 places. So, thank you all. Let's see what's going on. The last 2 weeks have been for you. You can't lance me off. You can't lance me off. I am going viral. I'm worse than the coronavirus. I get into your bones. I rewire your DNA when I'm in there. Like that. Let's see if there's anyone we can go drop some love upon. We might do. Ooh. Let's go to the brup screen so I can move, so that I'm not a prisoner of my own camera that stops me from moving anywhere. Let's see who's online. There might be someone, there might not be. We'll have a little look. We'll have a perusal. Sorry, that's me singing along with the music. Anyone on here? No, it's always me. I'm the only one that streams on that stream team at this time in the morning. It's insane. Oh, I'm on both stream teams. Oh well, never mind. That was the thought that counts. Alright guys and girls and everyone in between. Dogs, cats, birds, parrots. I know that comes under birds. Mice, rodents, insects, butterflies. Yeah, all of you in between. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Back tomorrow for the last stream, the last yoga stream of the week. And we're continuing on with this yoga fusion at the moment. I'm in a yoga fuse sort of mood. So come back tomorrow and let's see what we're gonna get up to then. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the resubs. Those of you who resubbed, you're freaking awesome. Give yourselves one of those. Yeah, the dick list salutes you. In fact, we haven't used the dick list one, have we? Hang on, I have to go back to the other screen, because if I don't, it won't work. Oh, Shania. Do you know how hard it is to get this to work on a fucking phone? Because you're mistyping words, and autocorrect's like, you didn't mean to say that.
Premature congratulations.
So, thank you for the resubs. You're awesome. You're now on the dick list. I will get started on your Kirk-inspired thing. OG! Have a perfect day, Dharma. See you next day. Love. Bye! Awesome. Great. Toodles! There we go. Get it on the end screen. Oh, stop bothering me. Spam emails. Alright, bye everyone. Take care.